Good afternoon, Sakelanders. How are you? We hope that you're well. It is Friday, the 21st of January 2022. And before I go off for a day or so, I'm making a few videos, playing a bit of catch up. The past few months have been quite unproductive for various reasons. Struggled with my computer terribly. What is going on here? Excuse me, everybody. Struggled with my all sorts of stuff. Anyway, and the YouTube thing, the thing that those of you who are on my WhatsApp groups will be familiar with the enormous amount of research that we've done to keep you informed of the prevalent sanitary conditions and what have you. But a lot of that can't be published because it's contentious and controversial. So there's no point making the videos. We can put them on BitChute, yes, but the viewership figures, you guys who go to the BitChute channel, is so small that it's hardly worth it. So anyway, I think I figured out a way around it. What was I going to say? I think I've figured out a way around it, and now we'll start playing catch up. You'll see over the next week or so. I quickly want to make a video on a nice thing that happened to me last week. I had to take three of my puppies to Louis Hutton. And when I was there, I said to him in the presence of his wife, Marguerite, Louis Hutton, what is going on here, guys? What is going on with this focus? I don't know anymore, honestly. I said to him in the presence of his wife, Marguerite, who many of you know, that I have taken to buying bottled water, which I think is reprehensible. It's disgusting that to spend 10 Rand on a bottle of water, unless you're on the road or something, that makes all the difference in the world, on bottled water. But over time, I've found that when I return from his farm, all of his water is mountain spring water. All of his water is spring water, and it is mountain spring water. And in fact, he has at least one spring whose water apparently has some extraordinary characteristic. He told me about it. He said, I'm not saying it's like this. He said, a boffin was here. A boffin analyzed the water. The boffin reckons that this water is special and it's very healthy and so on. And I have habitually drunk from that spring when I can. Every time that I can do so when visiting Louis. I have found over time that when I return to the city, or not the city, I beg your pardon, to the town, to Van der Kloof, I dislike the taste of the water. And Van der Kloof has good quality water. Gerrit Kraus has paid good money to have this research done, as he mentioned on one of his groups the other day. Anyway, the Centre for Analysis. There's nothing wrong with our water, but it tastes good by South African standards or by global standards or by the standards. But the thing in my mouth. So we were talking about that, and I said, similarly, every time I leave here and I then eat bread, buy commercial bread, it's not the same as your wife and your daughter's bread. Amore began baking bread without her mom's permission, behind her mom's back. One day when I think I was there, Marguerite went to Craddock, maybe, or she was with the neighbors or something, and Amore said to herself that she's going to have a go. At the time, I believe she was 8 years old. The next thing, we're eating bread at the table in the evening. I comment on the bread, and Marguerite says, "This one made it this morning while I was out." And she didn't even tell me or ask me. Anyway, so I said, it's the same with the bread and the butter and the cheese and the milk. I have always disliked, very much disliked, unpasteurized milk, except that in the past 4 years or so, I've really taken to it. It tastes terrific. I don't drink milk as milk, but in tea or coffee. I've taken a shine to it. And I said, it's funny, I go back home and the food sits differently in my stomach. Chat. The next thing, Marguerite is making cheese for me. I said, Marguerite, you don't have to do that. And she just carried on. And in 10 minutes flat, she'd made me this cheese because I had spoken about how even the best quality cheeses, I don't buy the fanciest ones. I don't shop at Thrups in Ilovo in Johannesburg, or even Woolworths for that matter, or even the delicatessen section of the ShopRite or Checkers, whatever it's called, in the R. But in Van der Kloof, if I can, I prefer to buy, cheese that's not just pure wax. But even that stuff tastes horrible. So Marguerite made me this cheese. I'm showing it the wrong way. What am I doing here, really? There you go. It's very bland. It was made from raw milk in the span of 10 minutes. I don't know, Marguerite might contradict me and say 15. Perhaps it was 20. Perhaps I lost track of time while chatting to Louis. But it's a quickly made cheese. It's not, matured. So it's very bland, and I spice it up with salt, pepper, and there you can see a piece of chili. But in spite of its blandness, I'll tell you one thing. It sits in your stomach differently. Why am I making this video? I suppose it's to encourage people, Sakelanders, particularly women, because women do have a finer gift. This is now proven scientifically. It's no longer just a cultural, old wives' tale or perception imposed by the patriarchy, the evil white men, the patriarchy as they call it. Women do have different talents to men, and they say they're largely to do with child rearing and what have you. I don't know. I'm not a fundi on the subject. But encouraging people, hopefully, to recognize the possibility of survival, the possibility of being self-sustaining. Not in everything all of the time. But you may be living in the city, you may be a loyal, faithful Sakelander, you may be a terrifically well-prepared person, but you may be wondering to yourself, how on earth are we going to cope? Or how on earth are we going to be able to provide for ourselves under certain circumstances? How on earth are we going to be able to provide certain things for ourselves under certain circumstances? Are we all going to be eating, plain mealie flour or whatever? And I'm just, it's a simple video. There's nothing deep about it. It's just, hey guys, check here, man. I'm feasting on this cheese, which was made in 10 minutes flat. Therefore, doesn't have a terrific flavor. It's meant to be bland. It can't be anything but bland. But with a bit of salt and pepper, it tastes good and it sits well in your stomach. And if Marguerite can do it in 10 minutes, you can do it in an hour. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I hope you appreciated that, guys. I hope it provided some encouragement. I hope that it encouraged you just a little bit to recognize the possibilities of doing these things without tremendous difficulty in the time that lies ahead. Yeah, that's it. Okie dokes, everybody. Have an excellent, excellent, God-blessed weekend. And may the days and weeks that lie ahead of us, which promise to be quite challenging, not be as challenging and difficult and destructive and demanding for you as they shall be for many, many others. Goodbye.